back to another Thunderous Productions video. I'm the madman behind the mic, Jag Thunder, and this is Minecraft. And welcome back everybody to episode 3 of my new Build It Better series. This episode is going to pick up where 2 left off. We're going to cover bridges. I want to do tunnels too, but I think I'm going to have to stretch that out and do that in episode 4, guys. If you're watching my new A-frame tutorial guide series, I've got the 2 houses back there, and you saw through the fly-through that this whole area is now built up. And that's the house that we started on, of course. And we worked on paths the last time, and we cut around that mountain and went down the back side and basically finished the path right down here at the bottom. And let me point at it right in here. And I told you I was gonna take the path around this side and put a wheat field in, which I've done. And I've added another house down here, and of course this big house here in the front with the pond. And I cut that out and let the water flow down into the ocean area here. And then I've also added a marina down here, and I'm still kind of working on this. I'm just trying to work things into the surrounding area. And I'm not going to show you guys each build one house at a time. I want to build a couple of them up and then show you how they kind of blend together. Remember how we started with the first house and we used planks and cobblestone, and I've kind of run that over into the next house using cobblestone for the roof and then planks for the porch, and started a new material with the wood. That way I can flow that down into the houses that I put around the corner. And down here I've still used the planks, and now I have the wood, but I put in a darker wood. So now I have the opportunity further up in the town to use several different materials as far as cobblestone, wood planks, cobblestone roofs, dark wood, and light wood. So as you can see, I've taken a lot of different materials, and I'm allowing myself to spread that out further into the town. I was talking about the A-frame houses. If you haven't seen them yet, here they are. This is the first design that I came up with, and I have a new tutorial series on that. It's going to be a short series, guys, probably maybe 3 or 4 or maybe even 5. I've got a couple different designs that I'm putting together. This was the first one, of course, and then this one here is going to be the second one. Is not up yet, depending on, of course, when you watch this video. I really like this one. This is probably my favorite so far, and I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek at it, what's coming up next week. Like I said, I've taken the wood planks from the other houses and I've incorporated it into this. And I haven't finished the interior yet. I'm still working on it, working some things out. I've got my stairs over here, and of course I've got another fireplace. And then up here I've got a loft with a bed and some more skylights. Pretty much your typical A-frame design, and with just a little bit of a flair to it. So that's what's coming up in episode 2 of the A-frame tutorials. Alright, so again, we're going to take one last look at this town that we're working on so far, and you can see how everything blends together really nicely. Alright, so I flew upstream, and here we are where the mansion is and the new modern town that we're working on, and all the more modern paths. And you can see here I've got some stuff done here too. I've got the path that's starting through the middle of the town. There's going to be a lot more houses down here. And I've got a marina, of course, up here, and then one small house. And then last episode, we were on this bridge. So we're going to go down here and we're going to talk about bridges. So basically, bridges are simple structures that can, most of the time, they're just used to get you over water. But in reality, they can express so much more in many different ways of bringing your pathways together and putting some nice finishing touches on your town. So like pathways, bridges allow you and your server friends to travel from one place to another. So we need to address different techniques to get the eye to appreciate a well-designed bridge. There's several occasions where just a simple flat bridge like this in front of me will do just fine. But other times, this will be right in the middle of Design City, and you're going to want your bridge to express that too. Alright, so we can see with this flat bridge, even though it's flat, it's still got some good character, and it looks like it belongs here. Because as what I've done is I've taken the cobblestone and I've taken the double slab, which is the materials from the path, and I've blended it into the bridge. So that's the first thing that we want to learn. And the first thing of making your bridges look better is to take the materials from your pathway and blend it into your bridge, especially for a modern build. That will look a lot better. If you're using like a medieval kind of town build, you'll have probably cobblestone coming into a bridge, and the bridge will be wooden. Somewhere along in that bridge, you can blend that cobblestone in a little bit and trim it. That way it looks like it kind of flows together and then flows back out the other side. So that's the first thing that we want to learn about bridges. They can be flat, or they can have arches, or they can have all kinds of design. Just make sure that you pick up a little bit of material along the way. As long as it bleeds through your path, bleeds through your buildings, it should bleed into your bridges also. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about in your bridge design is location. And this applies to everything that you build. And we talked about this in the first episode. The location of a bridge can mean a lot. As you can see here, this area was almost screaming for a bridge. So that's why it got one. I've got another area down here that we're going to build a bridge at. And as you can see here, the location again almost asks for a bridge. So we're going to give her one. This is going to be a straight bridge. I've already had 2 curved bridges, so now I want a straight bridge. If you're just starting out, I recommend building a straight bridge. Don't try doing the turns or anything like that, because if you have a very intricate design, it's very hard to continue that through any kind of a turn. Alright, now I could easily run from one side to the next and just go straight across, but that would be boring. We want it to be better. So the first and most easiest thing you could do with a bridge is to give it a little bit of a lift. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to fly through, and you guys are just going to kind of watch me build this bridge, just like we've been doing. It's kind of a play with series, but again, it's looking through the eyes of Jag and what I think and what I feel with a bridge, or any building for that matter. So we're going to build this straight across, and I've already counted this out, and I believe it's 19 blocks wide. And we're going to look at just a boring old flat bridge first. So that's what it would look like. And of course, if I was to really build it out, I'd go ahead and build these out too, and then just kind of finish it off, and that would be a nice flat bridge. And it would still look good because I've already got, you know, the sides and 2 different materials, and it would look all nice and pretty. But that's not going to be good enough. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit better. We're going to give it some lift by first, whatever you do on one side, make sure that you do on the other. So I'm going to build this up, and we're going to give it some lift. Let's say probably maybe 2 blocks, maybe 3. Let's go 3 blocks, guys. And we're going to put one more set of steps. And I like to finish on a full block. That way it's easier if I want to build anything off of this, any kind of rails. It's just easier. You can finish on the half slabs. That's fine. It's your bridge, you know, whatever you want to do. And of course I'm going to knock out those because I don't need those, and I don't need the bottom of this bridge. So we're going to knock these out. And I'm sorry if my voice is cracking just a little bit, guys. It's been a really long day. I've been under the weather for the past couple days and haven't been feeling really well. So if my voice cracks and it sounds kind of shitty, I'm sorry. Alright, so this side we got done, and we're going to take this up. So let's put that down and some half slabs. And now we're going to take some more full block. And then we're just going to go ahead and connect this here and see what it looks like. And let's go ahead and take these bottom blocks out because we don't need those. Alright, so already the bridge looks like it has something interesting going on. It's lifting up and out of its flat position. So that's good. That's what we want it to do. Now let's go ahead and finish the sides off. Alright, that looks even better. So now is what we want to look at, of course, is the bottom. That's where we want to give this thing the most character. And I want to get rid of this cobblestone because, of course, you don't want to see that from the bottom. So the next easy thing we can do is just cover that up with your blocks. So keep that in mind when you're building your bridges. Unless specifically you want to see that second material underneath, cover it up with the block that you're using for the sides. And there we have it. So now, just by adding that on the bottom, that gives that bridge a whole new look. But we're not done yet. Of course, we're going to make it better. Let's add a little bit more arch to it. So we're going to build this out. Maybe 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to bring this down here. And we're just going to add just a simple arch to this. And I'm going to stop short because that's going to give this bridge, it's going to make it look like it's mounted into this big wall here and it's framed up really good. So we're going to stop, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And make sure we do the same over here. But I don't want to go all the way down. Remember, I want to stay 1 block up at least. This one has 2. But we're going to concentrate on the arch. And let's put 1 here and 1 here. And of course we'll fly back and look at it. And maybe we need 1 more. And we'll just go diagonal for now. And that looks really good already. So we'll make sure we do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so there we have it on both sides. It already looks better. Now, at this point, you could probably just leave the bridge. Sometimes you may just want to fill this in and make it solid. So we'll go ahead and do that and see what that looks like. And we'll leave one block open there. And one block open there. That gives a little bit of a dynamic cut into the bridge. And there again, it makes it look like these are your stabilizers on the side of the bridge supporting the main part of the center of the bridge. So we'll go ahead and leave that like that. Now the next thing we can do, of course, we want to pick up our half slabs like we've already used before. And we'll go ahead and put them in. Alright, now as you can see, just using half slabs, again, gives it another dimension. And that would probably be good. And for the modern town, that's probably about where I'm going to leave it for now. I may come back later and change it just a little bit. And like all your designs while you're building them, you may come back another day and it's not going to look the same to you. And you'll see something different and you'll change it. So for today, we're going to call this bridge done. Alright, so I flow upriver and I'm just up from the marina. And remember, I'm going to have a little town right here and probably some houses here. And as I work through this path and I cross over this bridge, on this side, the city is going to get bigger. So a nice transition is to make your bridges that lead to that, if this is the way that you're designing it or if it's just a flat path, is to start making your paths or your bridges a little more detailed. Because as you get into your city, of course, you're going to have bigger builds, you're going to have more detail. So you want your bridges to reflect that. So as you walk towards the city, you'll start feeling a little more design and a little more design. So you can use your bridges in that way too. And as you can see, this bridge has a lot more design than the ones we've used down there. It's a little odd and it's a little different, but sometimes experimenting with bridges, or any design for that matter, you'll come up with a new building style or something you can use later on. So that's why I've built this one here. And as you can see from here, I've used an arch pattern at the top, or basically a circle pattern, and then also at the bottom. And I'm going to put a link in the description below to where you can get some circle guides so that you can work on using circles not only in your paths but also in your bridges and also in your buildings. Alright, there's a few things to mention here now that we're talking about circles. The overall length and the rise that you give your bridge will greatly affect the size circle you can apply to round it off. Using large circles to give a gradual arch to a long bridge looks great, but use it on a short bridge and it looks stumpy and cobble-fucked. Not a good idea. On the other hand, though, you can combine several small circles on a long bridge, and the results are much different. So before adding circles, take the time to think about the end result. Alright, so on this bridge here, we're going to apply what we just learned over here. We have a long bridge, and by itself, again, it looks okay. But we're going to take two small arches, and we're going to put them here and give this bridge just a little bit better look. So how do you apply the arches? Well, like I said, you could apply one big arch, and I know that the run between these blocks is 21 blocks. So I could take a 21 radius and put underneath and have one big arch, which would look really cool, or we can separate it and make two smaller arches. So here's the one that we're going to be using, which is an 11. So let's see what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now if I put my corner ones in, of course that rapes the blocks that I just put in, but that gives us the arch. And for something different, you can try actually knocking out the blocks in the back and see what that looks like. That kind of gives it a different look too, but for now we're going to leave that solid. So finding the middle point is going to be right here. I already know where it's at, so always find the middle point of your bridge, and I mentioned that earlier. Odd spacing. Odd spacing is very awesome for using things in Minecraft because it's easier to get your spacing. You can actually get things more even by using odd spacing. And I'll show you that here in just a second when we build the top. But anyways, we're going to put the posts here on the side, and we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to go up there and here and make sure it looks the same. And it does. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to build these corners again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And build them corners again. And as you can see, now we have two really nice arches in the middle of that flat bridge. So the next thing that you could do is you could either take this center post out, and we'll leave that in, and maybe cut something like that in it. Maybe it's going to a church. So you can take out the middle or you can leave the middle. So that's some other things that you can do with a bridge. And then also too, I have a landmass over here. I know it's kind of a shitty landmass, but always make sure that it connects to it. Otherwise it'll just make it look like your bridge is floating in midair. And sometimes you may even want to go out one block further to make it look like there's some structure holding up that bridge. And of course I don't have one over here, so we can't do that. Alright, so now we have two really nice arches on this bridge, and we've learned that we need to connect them in and make it seem a little more natural into the terrain. So what else can we do? We want to give this thing a little more support. So let's put an extra beam on the outside, and let's go ahead and run this beam up one block, and in the middle we're going to go 2 blocks. That'll give it a little bit of a lift on the top. Instead of arching the top because we've already arched the bottom, we're going to just give the top a look of being arched. So again, we're going to give another side beam on the side, hence the side beam. That was a little repetitive, sorry guys. And now we've got some extra thickness giving support to the bridge. So that already looks good. What else can we do? Now we can either use half slabs or we can outline the circle that we just put up. And let's go here. And I'm just kind of winging it right now at this point because I really haven't built a bridge like this before. And we'll just do something like that maybe. Let's look over here at this and connect it here. And we're going to skip, like I said, 1 block in between. And we're going to go all the way to the top. And we're going to see what this looks like. And because we did this on the other side, we're going to do that over here too. Now, as you can see, behind this bridge, sorry guys, I'm a little bit off tonight. Like I said, I haven't been feeling real good, so this is either going to make it funny or it's going to make it really fucking annoying. But anyway, I hope you guys are learning something here. So now we've got a little bit more 3-dimensional look to the bridge and something different. So now if you wanted to, you could actually cover that up and give it some more material. So it gives it a little more medieval look. And now we've got this on the outside. We can use this for lighting. We can put a torch here, 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 and here. Whoops, not there. Right here and here. So now at nighttime, let's take a look at it. That's not nighttime. Alright, so now at nighttime we have some really nice lighting for a medieval town that we're going to be walking into. So that's pretty damn cool right there. Alright guys, so there's some pretty good ideas on how to trim your bridges out and make them a little more interesting. That's the medieval style, and we've already gone over the modern style for the most part. I'm just trying to spark your guys' brains a little bit and get you to look at your bridges just a little bit different and get to look at them. They're more important than just a flat structure getting you from one side to the other. Get creative with them. Try different materials. Mix the heights. Put some radiuses in it. Cover the bottoms up. Do things on the top. Experiment. Maybe make a covered bridge. There's all kinds of different things you can do. So speaking of covered bridges, I got one more thing that I want to show you, and then we'll be done with episode 3. Alright, so here's my final medieval bridge design. I've got a really large canyon down here, and I've used all the great parts that I've already showed you on how to design your bridge. I've used arches, I've tied everything in really good. I've give the idea and the eye of climbing up and going over this, along with the arches underneath. So as you can see, everything ties together really good. And then for interest, I put a little bit of a covered section in the middle. So as you can see, this bridge has all the cool techniques that I've already showed you, and I've blended them together and thrown some rails on the top, and it makes the bridge really, really interesting. So that's what we're trying to do with this tutorial series, guys, is get you to look at things a little bit different, try out different materials, and just let your mind go wild. Alright, so hopefully now your bridges have a lot more support and a lot more character. So that's going to finish it up for episode 3, guys. I appreciate you watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. And remember, if it looks like shit, tear it down, blow it up, or just build it better. And we'll catch you on the next one. Later.